Ambassador, thank you very much. By the way, to the crowd, I didn't get hit. It's very dry here, and I just developed a bloody nose. So I don't want it said that I came to Canada and got bloodied. What I do want it said is that I'm delighted to be here, and it's an extreme honor for me to be not only with conservatives in Canada, but to speak with you plainly and straightforward about how important our relationship is. And I will tell you, as I wear my pin here that is an F-35, I wear this because it represents peace through superior firepower. And in the surrounding that we're in, it reminds us that wars must be fought, but victory is essential. And Canada has always fought to win. And I want to thank you for being not only with America so many times as we're engaged in freedom, battles for freedom, but thank you for everything that Canada stands for. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Tonight, if not the first time, you're going to quickly discover that our young ambassador is really the Elizabeth Taylor of America. That every single person in the place will want to come say hi to Ambassador Kraft because she represents not only the best of America, but the enthusiasm between two great nations as they not only strive to do business with each other, but they aim for the possibility that we can make life even better than where we started. This organization is named for Canada's Sir John Macdonald, who worked to unite Canada as a free and strong nation. And I will tell you, as a Texan, I strongly identified with the invitation as it came to me to be able to talk with you tonight and to have a bloody nose in front of everybody. It makes it a little bit difficult to look down at the same time that I read, so I think you'll now understand what I'm going to do is to close my book and the speech you might read at some point. Ladies and gentlemen, I serve as chairman of the House Rules Committee, and it's a committee in Washington, D.C. by which all legislation must move through before it comes to the House of Representatives. And the bottom line is that our Republican majority in Washington has been built upon the opportunity of not only freedom and opportunity, but virtually every single person that is in our Republican majority came to run for Congress based upon a vision and an idea of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan is that person that initiated not only and inspired not only the deep thoughts that we had about where we stood in our own minds about America, but also about how we saw the world. We have always thought that Ronald Reagan not only stood for freedom and opportunity, but the dignity of man, yes, and women, through principled dialogue to make sure that all had an opportunity to make whatever we were doing better. Ronald Reagan is that person that inspired me not only to run for Congress, but has provided me with a thought process, a balance about how I look at the world. And that is where your Republican majority is in Washington, D.C. right now. We are very much looking at the viewpoint through the lens of trying to make sure that our relationship with the world gets better. But that comes not from being one of the guys, one of the pals. It comes through true leadership. And we have just left 8 years of what I consider to be one of the guys or dismal leadership where the world looked up and had no real leader. No person who actually would lead and show not only where to go, but be strong in their relationship of how to get there. We are right now working through not only the new administration, but we're working with the new majority in Congress that I believe that will be a strong hand in making sure that the relationship between Mexico, Canada, and the United States gets even stronger. And while it is a bit unsure about where we're going to end up, and I know that Canadians like to skate to where the puck will be, it should be something that we should recognize we're going to have to simply work through. I think that Winston Churchill said it, those Americans, they'll try everything until they get to the right answer. Well, in this case, we already know the right answer. And the right answer that Canadians and conservatives in Canada need to be aware of is that we are for a stronger and better trade opportunity between the three countries. Okay, what does that mean? That means that the United States of America must negotiate fairly and upfront by making sure that Canada understands that we are not interested in a trade deal that would put you in second place or would not be fair to Canada. And my opportunity tonight is to say this to you, that the United States of America does no good if we place you in any diminished position in any single area. This organization understands that America wants Canada to be stronger every single year. And that means that the President of the United States, through not only the Trade Ambassador, but also in working with Congress, will have to work through what is America for? And we're doing that right now. We're trying to figure out, okay, if the President wants to advise Congress, as he has done constitutionally, that he would intend to open up negotiation, and the President has done that, then that means the President must come back to Congress with any changes that would need to be made. What is Congress in favor of? Congress is in favor of what we did 2 years ago with a piece of legislation that was called TPA, Trade Promotion Authority. And Trade Promotion Authority literally updates across the board every single piece part of America doing business with the world. And it is a fair responsibility to avoid conflict. But in no way would it mean that we would mean for Canada or our trading partner Mexico to be put on the defensive. And this is my message to you tonight. Canada should not yield to a bad deal. You should not. You should not think in any way that you must be complicitous to anything that is not economically in the best interest of Canada and your economic freedom. With that said, I will tell you that there are some extraneous matters that I would hope would not be brought forth or would not be pushed, because it could, in fact, put what I would say a better deal, at a disadvantage. So it is important for you to know this, that the Congress believes that what will happen is that the President will come and negotiate, and that anything that is brought forward from that must come to Congress for an up or a down vote. What is important is that Canada, nor Mexico, nor the United States sign any deal that they absolutely do not believe is in the best interest of all three parties. And if we will do that, we can continue a relationship, not only for our future, but we will make sure that we as conservatives have proven once again that our reliance on each other is the strength of our character and our resolve to move forward. Why must we win? We must win because, as the old saying goes, if you can't sign a trade deal with Canada, where are you going to go? You are our friends. We will negotiate with you, and I will tell you that your work in the United States Congress and in the States that has been very beneficial, that message is resonating very well. Last part that I want to say to you. I remember what happens in the Olympics when we play Canada. I want you to know that I could not be prouder of not only your country and of your teams, but of the things that you have done to help America, especially in our time of need. And I remember 9/11, and I specifically went back and looked at a press release that I did that day where I talked about the great support that we received from our Canadian brethren. Tonight, this is my first trip to Ottawa. Quite honestly, I want to do well enough to get invited back. I believe that what I'm looking at tonight and seeing is the spirit and the fire that I saw when I was chairman of the National Republican Congressional Committee. And it was in 2009, and we found ourselves in a quandary about what does conservatism mean, and how do we play that out, and what is that relevancy? And we had just had in Time magazine the front of an endangered species, and it was an elephant. Let me say this country needs conservative thought processes and conservatives just like you. We need the voices of not only common sense, but those that will continue to aim for making our countries better through economic joint development and the opportunity to make sure that our children and their grandchildren have something good to look forward to. My son, who is 29, is in his third year of medical school. And I remember when Bill was a little bitty boy, and we were thinking that we did not know what our children were going to turn out to be. Well, you don't either. But if we continue to work together, we can foster the relationship between our children and our grandchildren to make sure that Canadian-United States relationship lasts another 100 years. America would not be great without great neighbors, and we know who they are, and they are our dear friends, the Canadians. Thank you, and God bless you.